It's time for the Lorax Movie Reviews. For a long time, I had a picture in my camera roll downloaded from the wrong side of Pinterest of the Once-ler kissing the other version of the Once-ler. Then I deleted it. When I was in this fandom, we came up with a theory that the Once-ler's mom murdered his dad for insurance, and I just told that to my mom and she was like, "What? Does that actually happen in the movie?" When I was a youngin', I thought Demi Lovato played the Lorax, not Danny DeVito. I don't know why anyone let me think that. Kinda wanna settle down and live a suburban life with the Lorax. Why does the Lorax fly by pinching his ass? When life gets you down, pick yourself up by the ass and leave. You should only save the environment if the girl you like wants to save the environment. Imagine being so whipped you single-handedly revive an entire ecosystem. You know, I was really having trouble deciphering the message of the original book, but I think the 5-minute car chase in this really helped me understand what Dr. Seuss was trying to say. If you hooked a generator up to Dr. Seuss's coffin, you could power the entire continental United States with the amount he's rolling in his grave. When I saw this on opening day as a young tween, I was terrified of Aloysius O'Hare and thought the Once-ler was kinda cute. Not much has changed since my latest viewing. The fact that the Once-ler, fedora and waistcoat and all, was one of my biggest animated character crushes as a teenager. Shame to me and my family. Little known fact, but the Once-ler was actually designed to gauge audiences' receptiveness to lanky white boys, then promptly began working on Timothée Chalamet's career upon logging into Tumblr. Don't lie, everyone has danced to How Bad Can I Be on full blast alone in their room. This movie could have been over a lot faster if the Lorax just murdered the Once-ler. The Lorax and the Once-ler's relationship was queer-coded. I'm so sad they didn't kiss at the end. Not me tearing up at the second coming of Lorax Christ. I do believe this movie should be rated R because the Lorax is naked the whole time. But this movie never fails to make me tear up. Beautiful message, beautiful casting, beautiful Once-ler, sexy Once-ler. I love the Once-ler. The Once-ler will never love me. Unless... How thick can I be? I hate the Once-ler. I hate this skinny twink with no ass who looks like one of those Minecraft YouTubers who mysteriously start trending on Twitter one day after they show some ankle like they're a woman from the 1930s or something. Best movie I've ever watched, and this is not up for debate. I'm in love with the Once-ler, and I am not ashamed to admit this because we all know that everyone has a crush on him, and that's a-okay. We support you all. I am also in love with Grammy Norma too, because she's such a badass. I took psychic damage every time I saw a scene that's been gifted to hell and back on Tumblr. Also, I need an alternate universe where the Once-ler never sells a single thneed, and then just lives a domestic life in a cottage in the woods with his gay Lorax lover, and not a single tree is cut down. My friend told me that after he saw this movie in theaters as an 11-year-old, he immediately went home and drew a Sonic the Hedgehog version of the Once-ler. That's it, that's all I have to say about this movie. Screw cutting down the trees, I want to consume just the leaves. Why do they look so eatable? For an environmental movie, this completely ignores the fact that a forest with only one type of tree is not biodiverse or healthy. All I'm saying is that the Truffula tree is obviously an invasive species and deserved to get cut down. Also, after watching it years after it came out, I am disturbed that the Once-ler fandom was obsessed with that fedora-wearing boy. Unacceptable. I want a thneed as soon as possible. I thneed to die. I thneed the Once-ler to answer my calls. Why does everyone think the Once-ler is so cute? I just don't see it. The Once-ler pulls out his electric guitar.
I slowly started to be seducted by him, like he started to seduce me.
Something about tagging this as a thirst watch just don't sit right. Alas. Long leg. The fish have teeth, the fish have teeth, the fish have teeth, oh my god, why? I would have given it a 3-star rating, but the fish look too human for my liking. Also, young Once-ler is like, low-key a cutie. It genuinely makes me so distressed to know that there was an entire fandom made up of real-life people dedicated to believing that the Once-ler is sexy. Like, that knowledge genuinely makes me feral. I saw a Once-ler fan cam once, and I've never been the same person since. There was this girl named Emily in my senior year world geography class that would always suggest this as the film we should watch, and every time she would have the loudest voice and win. I watched this film 4 times in one semester. I freaking hated Emily. I hope she's as miserable as I was watching the Lorax 4 times in one semester. Don't be an Emily. Every single day for the entirety of my junior year, I asked my AP environmental science teacher if we could watch the Lorax. The answer was no every single day. Coincidentally enough, I was massively depressed for the whole of junior year. I'm not saying that there was a causation there, but there was definitely a correlation. I once saw a tweet that said Ted Wiggins and the Once-ler were, respectively, Brendan Urie and Ryan Ross from Panic at the Disco lookalikes. And after that day, I could never get that idea off my mind. O'Hare is Edna's brother from The Incredibles, and I can't be convinced otherwise. I love when animated movies end with the villain getting sent into the freaking stratosphere. The things I do for Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift was fearless to play this role. Born in 1989, Taylor Allison Swift rose to fame with her self-titled album, Taylor Swift, and ever since then was on the path to star in the Lorax in 2012. Right after she read the script, she knew she had to be in the movie, and all she had to do was speak now into the mic to deliver the performance of our generation. Upon release, her reputation was sealed as one of the best voice actresses of all time, as critics were a lover of every line she spoke. Her performance as Audrey went down in folklore, something to be remembered evermore. Buckle up, bitches. It's time for me to break my strict 1 review per movie rule for a meta-analysis of why the 2012 Once-ler is an excellent, complex, gray area character and this film is a cinematic masterpiece. Am I on the verge of a mental breakdown? Yes! Am I still right? Yes! It would be easy to characterize the Once-ler as greedy and selfish. He destroyed the entire valley of truffula trees without a single thought of the future, but while it was his choices that ultimately led to the destruction of the valley, he is not a true antagonist like he was in the 72 never amounted to anything. His problems are consistently started or exacerbated by the fact that when faced with a choice between these 2 paths, doing the better thing or gaining his family's approval, he always chose the latter. When he's on his own, his mom urged him to do what's best for his mama, knowing she could use his desire for her approval to manipulate him. The Once-ler's family who abandoned him immediately after the collapse of the company took all they could, and whatever the Once-ler did still have, he was too ashamed to use. Decades after the collapse, I think this is because he didn't trust himself not to mess up. He was scared he would screw over the world for a second time. Upon watching the 1972, his big invention was successful only once. He had influence only once. He was somebody only once. Although his name refers to the same idea in both versions, is no longer remembered even by the town bearing the name of his invention. He is reduced to the legacy of his surname, a legacy of destruction, a legacy of condemning the world. His character arc, however, is not about his legacy. In the end, he will always be the man that ruined the ecosystem through the overconsumption of natural resources. His redemption lies in knowing that he, through giving Ted the truffula seed, he gave good future generations, the Lorax tells him now decades later. The Once-ler immediately wrapping him in a hug. Although the Once-ler story is coming to an end, it also marks a new beginning for Thneedville. There should be a Lorax-inspired vigilante that beats up billionaires while wearing an orange fursuit. Thank you to everyone who suggested I do the Lorax reviews and voted for it in the last poll. And of course, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you have a wonderful day. See you in the next video. And to whoever posted this review, I'm sorry. I couldn't bring myself to read it. I cannot say these words out loud.